Good morning, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay? Okay, thank you, Rich. I always get my thumbs up from you. I see you there. How are you doing? Hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to our April Loukoumi Good Deed of the Month. We're very excited because our group is growing every month. I can't believe this is the 8th month that we've been doing this since September. But we have schools from Canada on the phone, from across the United States. On the West Coast, they're still sleeping, so we're going to send them the recording later today. So welcome, everyone. Very excited to have you all here live from the Greenvale School. And we have with us Principal Joanna Napolitano. I want to thank her for welcoming us here today, and the Greenvale Student Council in back of me, who are all doing some great things. They were just telling me about some of the great, the toy drive and some of the other things that, that they're doing here at the school. So today, we're going to be talking about the environment. April is Earth Month. Earth Day is later in the month, and we ended our Good Deed of the Month in March reading Loukoumi Saves a Park, which you remember. And I hope you've all been thinking about ways you can help the environment, either by recycling or picking up trash or keeping your parks and your neighborhoods and your environment clean and conserving energy and things like that. So before we start with our Good Deed of the Month project, we wanted to talk to some of the kids here from the Student Council and ask them how they like to help and preserve the environment. So why don't you just tell me something? Just say your name and how you think would be a great way to preserve the environment or help.
My name is Sophia Fiore, and I think a good way would be to the schools to start using more recycling bins so we can protect the environment by not polluting anymore.
That's great. That's great. We're going to hear a little later about plastic pollution and how we can take things and recycle them and recondition them into other things. So you'll hear from a wonderful young man later who's going to talk about things like that. Any other ideas?
My name's Olivia, and I agree with her, but I also think that we should stop cutting down trees because that causes deforestation. And deforestation is pretty bad because trees actually help us breathe. So if we cut down trees, it's actually harming us too.
Excellent idea. Yes.
We should also try to plant more wildlife because that's gonna help. Yeah, like plants and trees, plant bushes and stuff like that, so that we can just try to make our planet green again.
Absolutely. Anyone else? Those were great ideas. So what we'd like to do now is we had a very special day on Monday at a company called ECOS in Cypress, California. ECOS is an environmentally friendly cleaning supply company, and they've been a big friend of the Loukoumi Foundation for many years. Many of you may remember the CEO, Kelly Vlahakis-Hanks, spoke to everyone and Make a Difference last year about how we can help the environment and things that we can do. So we had a very wonderful 11-year-old boy named Justin Sather visit the ECOS facilities on Monday, and we recorded a whole segment to show you a little bit more about what they're doing to preserve the environment and things that we can do. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Justin. He's a regular boy. He loves bicycle riding. He loves playing video games, but he has a passion for the environment. He started when he was younger and loved frogs and heard that many species of frogs were on the verge of being extinct. So he wanted to see what he could do. And he read a book called What Do You Do with an Idea? And that book, that children's book, inspired him to want to help frogs. And that has led him to be a wonderful activist, believe it or not, around the world now, helping the environment. I first got a hold of him when I read that he won a Points of Light award, and then he wrote a wonderful essay in our Inspiring Stories book, which many of you have. So take a look at that. But he has since met the renowned conservationist, Dr. Jane Goodall, and he is doing two wonderful projects that are just very inspiring. One is he is saving land in Ecuador, and we'll show you how you can participate in preserving the rainforests in Ecuador at the end of our Zoom. But he's also working on plastic pollution and working with kids literally around the world, in Tanzania, in Cameroon, in Kenya, in Canada. And he has a whole network of kids who are taking plastic and reconditioning it and turning it into jewelry or turning it into artwork to help the environment. So why don't we go now to our video to the ECOS headquarters in Cypress, California, and meet Justin and hear a little bit about his story. So I'm going to share the screen.
Hi, my name is Justin. I'm 11 years old and I'm from Carlsbad, California. Today I will be introducing Loukoumi Good Deed of the Month in celebration of Earth Day. Last year, Loukoumi awarded me the Make a Difference Award for my work on helping the planet. In kindergarten, I learned that the frogs were becoming endangered from pollution, pesticides, and people cutting down their homes. I wanted to help, so I started protecting the wetlands near my house and cleaning rivers and oceans from the plastic pollution. Then I learned about climate change and how the Earth's getting hotter and creating problems for people and animals. I wanted to do more, so I started working with businesses and world leaders to find out how to protect the planet. And now I need kids like you who want to make a difference too. We're at the ECOS headquarters in Cypress, California, and we're ready to show you how to help the planet too. Let's get started. Here we are in the Eco Science Lab, and this is Jenna.
Hi, I'm Jenna Arkin, Chief Innovation Officer here at ECOS, and I'm really excited to work with Justin today. All right, so welcome to the QC lab. QC means quality control, and when you make soap, one of the most important things is you've got to test it to make sure it's good. So you want to help me with that?
Yeah.
All right, so the first thing is safety first. So what you're gonna do is put on these gloves. Our soap is very safe and hypoallergenic, but it's always good practice in the lab to make sure that you have your safety gear on. We call this PPE, or personal protective equipment. And in almost every lab you work in, you have some kind of PPE. So we're gonna have our gloves, put our safety goggles on. All right, so you're gonna help me run some quality control. So I've got a couple of tests for us set up. So we use naturally derived ingredients. And so imagine like a coconut tree, right?
Yeah.
Is every coconut tree the same?
No.
No, we're a little bit different, right? So every coconut is also a little bit different, and that means that the ingredients that come from coconuts are also a little bit different. So we could bleach them or process them and make them all the same, but that would be cool because we have natural products. So what we want to do is we want to create soap with this stuff, but the soap has to feel exactly the same. So we test it to make sure it looks exactly the same, even though all the coconut ingredients are a little bit different. And if it's not just right, then we tinker it just a little bit to make sure that it feels exactly the same when we buy our ECOS soap. All right, so the first test we're gonna do, this is a test for viscosity. Do you know what viscosity means?
No.
That's just a fancy word. It just means how thick the soap is. So thickness, or is it really thick like a gel, or is it like super duper thin like orange juice or water? And so we don't want it to be like super thick like a gel, because that would not be fun, right? You'd like pour it out and it wouldn't really wash. You also don't want it to be too thin, because then when you're pouring it, it would just go all in the wash, and then we'd have a lot of foam, and then we'd probably get in trouble. So the way that we test viscosity, this is called a Zika, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna see how long it takes in seconds for it to drain. So what you're gonna do, when I say go, you're gonna lift this up and just hold it real steady. You think you can do that? All right, so you're gonna be my helper. Here you go. You're gonna lift it and just hold it steady. On the count of three. Ready, set, go. All right, hold it steady. Now what we're looking for is we've got our timer going. At the very end, we're gonna see this really pronounced snap back. And when the snap happens, you'll see it. We'll watch together. I'm gonna stop and we'll see how many seconds it takes to drain. And then it will tell us how thick it is. Should be about a minute, and every bottle of soap we make has to be just about the same. So imagine if it was really, really thick, do you think it would take longer or shorter? Right. And if it was really, really thin, would it take longer or shorter to drain? You're so smart. What a job at ECOS. All right, it's gonna happen pretty soon here, so get low and see if we can find that snap, or your eyes. Keep it steady, but you're gonna look with your eyesight, see if you can see that snap back. You can lift it up a little bit so we can all see. It's gonna happen soon. Your hands are very steady, you're doing a great job. Almost. Come in, and today it's being tricky. It might be a little bit too thick because we actually want it to be right at a minute. Oh, do you see it? 107. All right, good job. So it is a little bit thick today, but the reason this works is because that cup is always the same size, right?
Yeah.
So since that cup's always the same size, if I keep testing it, it gives me a perfect comparison every time I test it. So that's viscosity. There's also another way to test viscosity. This guy is called the Brookfield viscometer, and it also tests viscosity in a different way. And all you're gonna do is you're gonna push that blue button that says motor on. Go for it. Perfect. Okay, so you fired it up. And when you did that, do you see how the spindle is turning in there? So that little spindle, see, you can see up here it's turning? It actually measures pressure. So what it's doing is it's seeing how hard is it to move in there, and it gives us a reading. So we want it to be between 800 and 1200. So today it's at 828. So just right. If it was really, really thick, do you think that number would be higher or lower?
Higher.
Yeah, it would be too hard to turn in there. Perfect. All right, so that looks good. And then the next test we're gonna run is pH. You learned about pH yet?
Yeah, pH scale.
Yeah, all right. You actually are a lot smarter than most adults that come in here. Yeah, okay, do you know what pH neutral is? What number?
It's 7.
That's exactly right. 7, you're hired. All right, so we want to keep our soap neutral because it actually makes it safer for skin, but it's also better for frogs, right? All right, so I'm gonna turn this on and look where we're at today. What do you see? What's our big number here? What's the pH?
7.5.
7.5, right around the neutral range. So even if it was really acidic, like orange juice is around 3, or really basic, like you can buy pH water that's like 10 and drink it, it could be safe, but 7 is just right. That makes it really safe for frogs, and we love frogs, right? High five, nice job.
Okay, so now I'm going to ask you some questions.
Great.
So the first question is, what is green chemistry?
So green chemistry is chemistry where you're trying to use safer alternatives to make things. So green chemistry, the way we do it, is about household cleaning products and laundry. So we're using safer ingredients. And when I say safer, safer for the planet, but also for humans and for pets and frogs.
Can you explain climate change?
So climate change is happening because of global warming, and that's because of greenhouse gases. So all that carbon dioxide is actually not allowing the planet to cool down, and over time the planet is getting warmer and warmer. And that's really disruptive to most of our ecosystems. So there's a lot of things that we can do to help slow down climate change and reduce our greenhouse gas emissions.
The third question is, do you think we can stop climate change?
I don't think we can stop climate change, but we could definitely slow it down, and that's what we should try to do, is to not just let the climate go run away so fast if global warming is increasing so fast. What we need to do is make responsible choices so that we can slow it down so that all of the environment doesn't degrade as quickly as it is right now.
And then, fourth question is, what is ECOS doing to help the planet?
So we're doing a lot of things to help the planet. The first thing is everything we manufacture, we are climate positive. So that means we restore more carbon than we use. And when we make a product, we think about everything we put into it and make sure that it is as low carbon as possible. So as little plastic as we need, as few ingredients as we need. We also make sure to use as little water and energy as possible.
Okay. Question 5. What kind of projects do you work on?
I get to work on a lot of fun different projects. Sometimes it's coming up with a new fragrance for something, which is really fun because we get to smell a lot of essential oils. Other times it's coming up with whole new types of products, like how much water could we take out of a detergent?
Okay, thank you for letting me interview you and doing the project.
Thank you so much for joining me today. You're welcome back anytime. Together we can make a difference.
Now we're going to see what products they make at ECOS.
So at ECOS, we rethink, reuse, reduce, and recycle as much of our materials, so we produce 0 to none trash, which is really good for the environment.
Now for the Loukoumi Good Deed of the Month. Will you help me protect the planet? All you have to do is write a letter about why you like nature and why you want to protect it. 91 letters is equal to 1 acre of land in Ecuador. You can also bring $1 to protect the rainforests in Ecuador. $273 protects 1 acre of land in Ecuador. Together we can make a difference.
Thank you to Jenna and Justin for that wonderful presentation. I also want to thank Pamela Spires for setting that up at ECOS. She's amazing. And also a local Eastchester student, Jacob Niclario from Eastchester High School, who's graduating this year, who edited our video. So thank you, Jacob. So I wanted to just spend another minute just talking about our Good Deed project of the month. So what Justin is doing is he's working with the Reserva Land Trust down in Ecuador, and they are actually preserving rainforests. And you saw a beautiful picture of a rainforest in that last video. So what they're doing is for $273, you can save 1 acre of land. And Justin has already saved many, many acres of land over the last few years. But it could either be by donating $1 or the Reserva Land Trust, for every letter they receive, they will get a donor to donate $3. So if you get, I think it's 91 letters from your school, they will donate the $273 to preserve an acre of land in the rainforest in Ecuador in your school's name. So just get a piece of paper, draw a picture, like that picture of the monkey that you saw in the video, and just say, what can you do to help the environment? What can you do? Why is it important to help the environment? Just start thinking about things that you can do, and then send those letters into us, and the address is at the end of the video, and then you can make a difference by saving an acre of land in Ecuador in the rainforest. So I hope you'll all participate. I want to thank you all again. Thank you to all the student council and Principal Napolitano. See everybody here for welcoming us here today. Have a great month, great Earth Day, and we look forward to seeing you on the May Loukoumi Good Deed of the Month next month. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.